Why Yemen is poor and Oman is rich. Two neighbors, two different destinies. Two borders, two realities. In the southeastern corner of the Arabian Peninsula lie two neighboring countries, Yemen and Oman. They share geography. They share history. They share tribal traditions. They share language, religion, and culture. Yet today, they stand worlds apart. One is among the poorest countries in the Middle East, shattered by war, famine, and political collapse. The other is stable, peaceful, and relatively prosperous, with modern infrastructure, strong governance, and steady development. How did this happen? How can two neighboring nations end up on such different paths? This is the story of history, leadership, geography, colonial politics, oil wealth, war, and missed opportunities. Geography: similar land, different advantages. Both Yemen and Oman sit at one of the most strategic locations in the world. They guard the entrance to the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean. Yemen controls the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, a critical shipping lane. Oman controls part of the Strait of Hormuz, through which much of the world's oil passes. Geographically, both nations have mountain ranges, deserts, coastal areas, harsh climates, limited freshwater resources. But geography alone does not determine prosperity. Leadership and stability matter far more. The historical roots of division. To understand the present, we must go back to the 19th and 20th centuries. Yemen's divided past. Yemen was historically divided. Northern Yemen under Ottoman influence. Southern Yemen under British control. The British ruled Aden as a colony beginning in 1839. After World War I, Northern Yemen became an independent kingdom. Southern Yemen became independent in 1967, but as a Marxist state known as the People's Democratic Republic of Yemen. In 1990, North and South Yemen unified. But unity did not bring stability. Instead, political rivalry, tribal tensions, and economic mismanagement followed. Oman's transformation under leadership. Oman's story is different. For centuries, Oman was ruled by a sultanate. In 1970, a turning point came when Qaboos bin Said took power in a palace coup. At that time, Oman was extremely underdeveloped. Only a few schools. Almost no hospitals. No modern roads. High illiteracy. But Sultan Qaboos began rapid modernization. He used oil revenue to build infrastructure, establish healthcare systems, expand education, create stable institutions, and most importantly, he kept the country neutral in regional conflicts. Oil wealth, a blessing or a curse. Both Yemen and Oman have oil, but not equally. Oman discovered oil in the 1960s and developed it systematically. Yemen discovered oil later and in smaller quantities. However, oil alone does not explain the gap. The key difference is how oil revenue was managed. Oman's oil strategy. Oman invested oil profits into roads connecting remote areas, ports like Salalah, schools and universities, public services, economic diversification. Oman did not rely only on oil. It invested in tourism, ports, logistics, and trade. Yemen's oil problems. Yemen's oil reserves were limited. Worse, oil money was often lost to corruption, tribal patronage networks, weak institutions, political power struggles. Instead of building national infrastructure, resources were distributed to maintain political loyalty. This weakened long-term development. Political stability versus political chaos. This is perhaps the biggest difference. Oman's stability. Oman experienced political stability for decades. There were no major revolutions, no civil wars, no large-scale foreign intervention. Government institutions strengthened gradually. Even after Sultan Qaboos died in 2020, transition to Haytham bin Tariq was smooth. Stability attracts investment, tourism, trade, international partnerships. Yemen endless conflict. Yemen's history after unification in 1990 was unstable. 1994 Civil War. Rise of extremist groups. Tribal uprisings. Economic decline. Then came the Arab Spring in 2011. Protests forced President Ali Abdullah Saleh to step down. Political transition failed. In 2014, the Houthi movement seized the capital. In 2015, Saudi Arabia and its allies intervened militarily. Since then, Yemen has faced civil war, famine, disease outbreaks, infrastructure destruction. War destroys economies. It scares away investors. It collapses education and healthcare systems. No country can grow under constant war. The role of foreign powers. Both countries exist in a region influenced by global politics. Yemen became a battleground for regional rivalry. Saudi Arabia and Iran support opposing sides. Foreign intervention deepened internal divisions. Oman chose a different path. Oman pursued neutrality. It maintained diplomatic ties with Saudi Arabia, Iran, United States, United Kingdom. Oman often acts as a mediator rather than a participant in conflicts. Neutrality protected its economy. Institutions matter. Strong institutions create development. Oman built organized ministries, clear administrative systems, professional civil services. Yemen struggled with weak governance, tribal power structures, limited state authority outside major cities. Without strong institutions, development cannot be sustained. Education and human development. Oman invested heavily in education. Literacy rates increased dramatically. Universities were built. Scholarships were offered. A skilled population drives economic growth. Yemen, due to conflict and poverty, has high illiteracy, child labor, interrupted schooling, damaged schools. Human capital is the foundation of wealth. Without it, development stalls. Infrastructure, the visible difference. Visit Muscat in Oman. You will see modern highways, clean streets, ports, airports, organized urban planning. Visit war-affected areas of Yemen. You will see damaged roads, destroyed buildings, fuel shortages, limited electricity. Infrastructure reflects decades of stability versus decades of crisis. Economic diversification. Oman understood early that oil will not last forever. It invested in tourism, fisheries, ports and logistics, free economic zones. Yemen remained dependent on limited oil and foreign aid. When oil declined and war began, the economy collapsed. Social cohesion and governance style. Oman's leadership balanced tribal traditions with centralized authority. Yemen's political system often relied on tribal alliances. When central authority weakened, tribal and factional divisions intensified. National unity is critical for economic progress. The human cost. Yemen today faces one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world. Millions require food aid. Healthcare systems are overwhelmed. Children suffer from malnutrition. Meanwhile, Oman continues gradual development. though it also faces economic challenges from fluctuating oil prices. But Oman's problems are manageable. Yemen's problems are existential. Why the difference? The answer is not geography, not culture, not religion. The difference lies in political stability, leadership decisions, institutional development, management of oil revenue, avoidance of prolonged war, neutral foreign policy, investment in human capital. Oman had stable leadership and strategic planning. Yemen experienced division, corruption, and devastating war.